We shine bright like a diamond. This will be our 75th episode of the Outcast podcast, which is our diamond episode.
That's pretty dope.
You know, we're like Lou Diamond Phillips. We're like Diamond Dallas Page. I'm thinking of all the great diamonds. Dimebag Dave.
He wasn't a dime. Well, no, wait, a diamond. Well, I guess you can say. We wanted to exclude him. But happy 75th episode, I guess, fellas.
I can hardly hear you, Memphis. You're going to have to talk like you got a pair. I don't know if you're off mic or what. But welcome to the Outcast podcast, where we have a lot to talk about.
Welcome.
Yes.
We got DJ Tomcat is here.
I am here.
And that's a very loud shirt you have on. I like it.
Not as loud as me, though, baby.
You're looking good, and you got the glasses on, man. Yeah. And I have a monitor now where I can see you. Look at you.
Don't you regret it?
Thank you.
Don't you regret it?
Thank you.
Just looking at him right now.
What are you talking about?
Say hello to.
Why would you do that?
Let's say hello to Memphis. What's up, Memphis? Let me see you on the camera there. Look at this guy. Yeah,
well, here I am. The pleasure's all yours. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Make sure talk right into that mic.
Well, this mic stand is a little weak in the chink, so I
got some pills for that.
Have to stiffen it up.
Cool. I'll talk to you after the show.
And of course, we have the freaking Puerto Rican, Mr. DJ Ramo G.
How you doing, man? That's the Ron Brown, okay?
Ron Brown.
That's fine. Whatever. I understand you gringos.
We have a lot of topics to get to on today's show. But first, we must take care of our sponsors, because it seems to work when you advertise with the Outcast podcast, because all of our sponsors very happy. Liquid IV, of course, we stay hydrated.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to Liquid IV. I have my Liquid IV cup here.
Yep, my drink.
And today we have the energy version. They have one that has caffeine. They have one for immunity if you want to get vitamin C and vitamin B12 and feel great. You just use our promo code. Go to liquidiv.com, type in Outcast, save some money. Stay hydrated.
Boom.
Do it.
Hydration is great for you. Also, thanks to our other sponsor, HelloFresh. They just came on board, and I have a new contest for the Outcasts. We'll see who the best cook is. Who's the best?
It's over, baby.
Yeah, no taking your pants off this week, thankfully.
I mean, we have to wear pants to cook.
We're not cooking sausage.
It's not like we're doing it on video.
Oh, I am cooking
Actually,
zucchini.
you are.
I'm going to be cooking with some white peaches,
you got some of that.
So do you guys have your menus for the for this weekend?
Yeah.
From
You know what?
HelloFresh?
I do have my menu, Gentry. Right here.
What are you going to be making in the kitchen this week, thanks to our sponsor, HelloFresh, Tomcat?
Well, I hope I don't pronounce this wrong, but it is chicken sausage cavatappi bolognese.
Show the picture.
Bolognese.
Show the picture on camera.
Bolognese.
Hey, that's two types of food.
Nice.
Bolognese.
What about you, Memphis? What did HelloFresh send you to cook?
So I have the sweet chili pork and cabbage stir fry. Sounds really good.
Let me see a picture of
Look
that.
at that. Feast your eyes, baby.
That
Feast your
does look
eyes.
pretty good.
That looks great.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I
And
plan
then-
on
They
just
both look
hooking
good.
it up.
All right.
Yeah.
This one looks good, too.
And so, Ramo, what about you? What are you making?
I actually got the Monterey Jack unfried chicken. Absolutely
good.
looks great.
He
You
got
know what I'm
the
saying? It's
easiest
got
one.
potato wedges
He
with
got
some
the
green
easiest
beans.
one.
That looks good.
Easy.
It may be easy.
Ain't
it may
this the
not.
one you were
We'll see.
fighting me
No,
over?
I bet they're all easy to make.
For me?
Yeah.
No, I don't recall that at
It's a
all,
little
sir.
salty.
All right, so there's some.
Let's just don't make your meal a little salty.
So we
That's
take a
all.
picture
Yeah.
of our meal here, Gentry,
I
after.
use artificial flavors anyway.
So HelloFresh has thrown in a prize money for you guys.
What?
For the best meal presentation, and you'll have to try it, and we're going to have to take your word for it that it tastes good, that you cooked it just right. But the nice thing that HelloFresh does is they give you all the ingredients. It comes in a brown bag. You guys have them in the fridge. And then all the ingredients for your recipe are going to be in there.
I already have
the
them.
instructions are on the card. They make it real easy so you can't screw it up. Even if you're an outcast on this show, hopefully you can't screw it up. But what I'd like for each of you to do is cook your meal, take a picture of it. We'll put it out on the internet. We'll let the fans vote on who has the best presentation. The winner of the HelloFresh presentation contest on the Outcast podcast will win $200. Courtesy of
Very nice.
HelloFresh.
Bolognese.
Mine's gonna look just like this bolognese.
Hey, that's two types of food.
You guys are in trouble. I'm Sicilian. This is my wheelhouse.
You know,
You
black
better
people
not
can
let
cook,
your
right?
mom cook it, dude.
Yeah,
no
you have to
cheating
cook it
either.
yourself.
Yeah, we want pictures.
Yeah, you
No.
know, yeah, totally. I want to see the start and end process of y'all cheating asses.
No
I'm
help
ready,
from your
yeah.
girlfriends. No helps from your wives. You guys have to cook this.
Yeah,
serve it to the
okay.
family. Take some pictures.
It's
and the
fine.
winner with the best presentation will let the fans vote. You get a $200 bonus thanks
Now-
to HelloFresh.
Listen, let me-
Do we get more? Hold on. Point of order. Do we get extra points if we get like something like from our family members saying that it was good, like a video clip
No,
or something?
because
a
your
like
son will do
Yeah.
whatever you tell him.
And you
I've
got
seen
No,
like
it.
he will
20
not.
family members.
Are you
That's
kidding
not
me?
fair.
You guys obviously do not. You guys obviously do not know my family. They will take any opportunity to throw me under the bus.
Well, that
dude.
sounds
They are
fun.
born
If
that
you
way.
can get a video of them talking shit about it, that'd be better.
well,
I'm just
I'll
kidding.
try, but I cook pretty good. They love my
failed.
cooking.
I think
Look,
I might
again,
add some arroz con gandules to it.
it's
What the hell
all.
is that?
I don't know what that is,
Yeah,
but it sounds good.
it
Just by
is.
the way
Google
you said it.
translate that, please.
It's
It's probably
rice
just
with pigeon peas. Yeah, wrong.
rice and peas, eh?
They're pigeon peas. They're like beans. They're
Pigeon
small
peas.
beans.
Oh, I know. The shits that look like capers.
Kind of.
They just don't taste like capers.
No,
Don't
they're
go
good.
messing
Because
with the.
capers
They're
are
actually
amazing.
good.
Don't go messing with the recipe. You got to make it just like the thing here.
I will,
You
I
can't
will.
be adding all type of flair.
Well, actually,
there.
no, you're wrong because the thing about a recipe is you can never take it away from, but you can add to it. That's you can technically by recipe law.
What do you
can
think,
add,
Gentry?
but
Are we
cannot take
making
it
the
away.
recipe exactly as is, or
If you want to put an extra spice or you want to put a little extra garment, again, it's about presentation. If you want to get a endorsement or a review from your family member because you think that's going to help you in the race for the $200, you know that's on you, the Outcast, and see if you can pull it off.
You know what? I got a good coach.
See if you can make that
I
money.
got a good coach, man. Like my wife can cook and shit.
Ah,
So I'm gonna let her coach me up even more. I know I can throw down on my own, but I gotta go. I gotta go defer to the wife and have her coach me up.
Yeah, I thought we just said we could do that.
yeah, this is gonna be fun.
All right, we'd like to welcome HelloFresh to the family. And again,
Yes.
if you go to HelloFresh.com/Outcast50 and use our promo code, that's Outcast50, you can save 50%. Plus, you get free shipping. And
That is a great deal.
they deliver your ingredients right to your front door. All the things you need to make these various concoctions and different meals. And I like it because you end up cooking things you normally would not think to cook. And it comes out pretty good. I've been a fan of HelloFresh for a while. New sponsor, plus Liquid IV, plus BetterHelp. And now let's go ahead and get into the topics of the show here because we do have a lot to talk about. I've been watching some television lately, and I've seen 2 documentaries that I wanted to bring up.
Do tell.
One is called I Wanna Rock, the 80s Metal Dream, which stars Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. It's also got Kip Winger from Winger. It's got the lead singer of
So the other
Skid
D
Row.
wasn't in it.
What other D? D's Nuts.
Sorry about that. All right. Fucking
Jackass.
I know.
So I'm watching this documentary,
That's funny.
and I'm thinking to myself, when will rock and roll come back? Because right now, I know hip hop is struggling. They can't seem to get a hit all year. They haven't had a big hit in hip hop. It seems like this year.
You don't think?
The pop music? I mean,
It's true.
the numbers are there.
true.
Sure.
They're not selling. The hip hop
I ain't
music
arguing.
is not selling.
I'm not arguing.
The what is it? The pop music is not selling like it used to. And
Okay.
it seems like rock and roll has been very quiet since the late 90s. There hasn't really been a rock band. So as I'm watching this documentary, I'm thinking 2 things. Will rock and roll ever make a comeback? The band. You know,
Should
like
I masturbate again in like 5 minutes?
what are you talking about?
He doesn't know.
What?
He doesn't know.
I was thinking 2 things. And that was the second one I was saying. I'm just kidding.
Okay, we know where your mind's at.
The other thing
Stay over there.
The other
Yeah,
thing
really.
that I started to think about was I know a lot of the boomers are out like saying, I don't get this transgender stuff and I don't understand why a man would want to dress like a woman. And as I'm watching this documentary, I mean, it's hairspray, spandex, guy liner, and I'm looking at all these bands and they're dressed up just like girls. I mean,
Yeah.
look at these bands.
It was.
Poison used to have long hair and look like a woman, and every one of you baby boomers wanted to be just like Bret Michaels.
No,
I mean,
no.
and yeah,
You
'cause
wanted
how
to
many-
wear spandex and guy liner.
I think that was after.
Rainbow's
Boomers.
wearing it now.
No.
Spandex.
Wasn't it?
No.
Yeah. Boomers.
We're
were
talking
more
about
like
the
60s,
80s.
80s.
The 80s are the boomers.
No.
Yeah.
If you
They're
were
the
in your
boomers.
30s, you were in your 30s,
Yeah,
the 40s,
okay, yeah,
you
you're
know,
right.
in the 80s.
You're right. Yeah. I just think I hate that because you hear a lot of radio stations that play, oh, we play the 80s, and then they play that shit. Like, I was growing up, like, you know, a teenager in the 80s, like, I didn't listen to none of that shit.
You didn't listen
We
to
had-
Guns N' Roses or Motley Crue or Van Halen or
Not
any
really.
of those bands?
I mean, I
I
knew
did.
them, I
Really?
heard them, but yeah, no, we would listen. I listened to more underground. Like, I listened, you know, I lived in Gary, Indiana. Everybody
Take a
take
shot.
Yeah.
Take a shot.
You know, we listened to hip hop and house music. Like, that's what we were listening to underground shit, old school
Even
freestyle.
Memphis
like,
was listening
I
to
mean,
rock
yeah,
and
in
roll.
St. Louis, we was listening to it. I mean, in
well,
our
okay,
hoods.
You
Yeah.
guys were in a
Yeah.
bubble, right?
Well, no,
Yeah,
no.
they were totally
no,
in the
well,
bubble.
in my
Yeah, they
hood,
were.
yeah, we were kind of, but in Portage, they would play that, and that's where I would hear that because I had a cousin who lived out there, and
What
she
the hell
would
is
throw
that?
like birthday parties and shit. That's like a white neighborhood,
I
I
wa-
guess you would call it in
I-
the area.
I went to Air Force Academy here in Florida, Florida
Uh-huh.
Air Academy, when I was in 7th grade. It was like summer school. It sucked ass. But
Did
me
it?
and all of my fucking other cadet mates would fly around and destroy our little area that we slept in to listening to Guns N' Roses. We put on Guns N'
Nice.
Roses.
It was cool, yeah,
and we go
definitely.
Hell yeah.
fucking nuts. We
Bon
loved it.
Jovi, Def Leppard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Y'all
Def
ain't listen
Leppard.
to none of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shit?
yeah, definitely.
Me and my
well,
homeboy
by
was like the
by
only
the
cats
time.
in the hood that knew.
By the time
Some
Def
Sugar
Leppard
on Me
came
by
out,
heart.
yeah, no, I was in Florida by then, 89. Like, I'm talking like 82, 83.
That was
you know what
before
I'm saying?
'89. That was like
It came out in like 86,
87.
87, yeah.
that
What
was
about
86.
Poison? Every rose has its thorn.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
That
okay.
was, I mean, that was a cool song. I saw it on
You didn't
MTV.
break up with anybody and start crying over that song?
Not that song.
No, that's
No.
November
No.
Rain.
They be-
That's November
No,
Rain.
yeah, November Rain. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's
What a
November
great song.
Rain.
Not that
Yeah.
song, yeah.
I mean, Metallica, another band that really
Oh,
wasn't a
yeah.
part of the '80s metal, but they were more like they were metal, but they didn't come along until the later '80s.
I had a friend in
Enter
middle
Sandman.
school that listened to Metallica all the time. He would
Yeah.
wear the same freaking Metallica
They
shirts
loved that.
over and over again.
That was a big
Is
one.
he a serial killer today?
I don't know where they are today, but I remember he would
'Cause
sit
that
in front of
young-
the stereo. He had tape decks back
Tomcat
then.
might be a serial
those,
killer
Those tape
today.
decks with the big
I'm
old
like,
speakers.
shit.
Yeah.
And
If
he would
you-
listen to Metallica,
if-
and he'd put on the headphones and listen to it, and he'd be like, "Listen to this," and he'd be like, and we'd just be like, "Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot. I don't
It's all
know
right.
at the
If you
time."
It's a
that
bit-
young-
bit
listen,
much.
You
Metallica-
that young and Metallica is getting to you like that, you better be a genius or a killer. One of the two. Ain't
I
no
like
gray area.
Metallica now. At the time, I was into Vanilla Ice.
They're
Oh,
definitely
hell
good
yeah,
band.
Vanilla Ice was the shit. back
Ice
in the
Ice
day.
Baby, like
Right.
everybody else. So when I hear
Everybody
that
used to say
shit,
they like,
Metallica.
Right.
Vanilla Ice used to give dance better than MC Hammer. We were like, where?
My neighbor had
You
this,
get
my
beat
neighbor
up.
had a VHS camcorder. It was like this freaking
big
big,
old big
and it was
one?
the only way to video yourself back then. And we would go over and knock
I
on his door
remember.
and be like, "Can we borrow
Yeah.
your video thing?" And then we'd get another thing that a radio and play Ice Ice Baby, and then video ourselves like going down the street doing the moves, doing the hammer moves and shit.
Yeah.
Rapping,
Breakdancing?
rapping.
Oh,
Man,
rapping.
we grew up in the best days, didn't we?
Why,
That
why
shit
do
was
you
the
think though
best.
that back in this generation of the '80s metal scene that it was cool for guys to wear makeup and wear their hair long and wear hot pink and look like girls, but now it seems to be with a certain sector of crowd here in the States where when they see guys dressed up like a girl, they have a real big problem with it. But back in the '80s, like you wanted to be Motley Crue. What do you think has changed with the?
Who gets mad about
The boom,
dudes
I
dressed
get
up
you.
like girls?
I get what you're saying.
Oh,
I get
you
what you're
do.
saying.
I don't
mean,
give a fuck. When did I
Good.
say I care?
But you're
Good,
not a
good.
boomer. You're
I'm
talking
glad
about
you
the
don't,
boomers
yeah.
Did,
who-
Why
didn't
if the
I'm glad
didn't
you don't.
DeSantis recently say something
yeah, big
about the
time.
transgender?
Yeah,
They-
I'm saying
he-
something
it's-
stupid. He's a fucking.
There's
idiot.
a
I
difference
think it's
with
outlawed,
what-
like doing a show
Who's
in
that?
Florida or
Prince?
something like that. Or,
Is that Prince?
Yeah, Prince
With-
looked like a
that's
girl.
It's
He used
something
to-
But
about
that
the
was-
drag
but that
shows.
was Prince's thing.
That's something to do with
That was
drag
his-
shows.
Prince was just that was his thing. You know, it was just who he was, what he did. I think
The style
dudes,
was
I
very
think it's
girl
always
guy
been-
back then.
It's always been
Is it?
like that
It was.
in men's casual.
But look at Harry
wear,
Styles
you know?
now. Same.
I think I think what he's saying, like
What?
when
What's
you
he saying?
literally like a dude go out and dress like a goddamn woman.
Nice one.
Like wait a minute, what are you doing?
I'm not making
Take
fun of
off
Harry
that
Styles.
dress.
I think you are.
No.
Stop it. What are you doing? Like it's don't do that. Cause you see a lot of these rappers that they be doing these photo shoots, and you be like, "What were you thinking, dog? You agreed to that?"
Well, Lil Nas X, he dressed
Well,
up,
he's gay.
like a girl.
He's gay, so
And-
he
but-
can
but
do
pe-
that.
pe-
I'm
looks
talking
are
about the
cool,
straight
though.
guy. I'm talking about the straight guys.
He has some of the most amazing looks.
But a
Well,
lot of
that-
people
I
were
actually
taken
like his
back by
music.
that.
His
A lot of
music is
people
good,
gave
too.
him
I
a
like
hard
his
time,
music.
Lil Nas X,
I
when he
didn't give
dressed
him-
like a
well,
girl.
I
They
thought
did.
he was-
But people that don't matter, you know?
Yeah, it's like, who gives a fuck?
Look at Harry
Fuck
Styles.
Right.
Well,
He's
he do-
one of the most.
I didn't know
one of the
he did
biggest
that.
artists, and he always dresses in feminine wear.
See,
I
that's
guess
doing
maybe that's
too
all I'll call
much
it.
in my-
Really?
Well, no, that's his style, though. I mean, I don't give.
I mean,
Is
he
that
looks
where the
like-
styles
he looks
comes
like
from?
Doesn't
little-
bother me
he
at all.
looks like Little Debbie. He looks just
He
like
does
Little
in that
Debbie,
one. Yes, he
or-
does.
Or what's the girl, Dorothy from
Yeah, no,
The
whatever.
Wizard of Oz?
If it works for him.
that ain't cakes in
Man,
that
I don't
basket.
know, man. I don't, like, you can
No?
do like that,
What
but
is
don't wear the shoes.
Cocaine?
Put on some Timberlands. or
It's
something.
definitely cocaine. Where's
If
my
you gonna put the
cocaine
whole,
guy?
Sweet,
if you gonna put the whole outfit on, you gotta put on some
Wrong one.
Jordans or some Timberlands. You gotta do
There it is.
something. Don't put on them damn girl church shoes. Take that shit
I highly
off.
recommend everybody go watch the series I Want to Rock, the 80s Metal Dream. It's produced by MTV, and it's on Paramount Plus. It talks about the Sunset Strip scene back in L.A. in the 80s when you had Motley Crue and Van Halen. They were saying that 1 in 10 bands that were playing the Sunset Strip were getting signed back then.
Not Van
Like
Halen.
a lot of the bands were getting signed back in those days.
Now they're getting out there getting high.
They are.
Doing the fentanyl
Let's go.
and the trank.
Yikes.
I don't know about that.
Then there was another
Can we get weed?
documentary that I saw over the weekend as we switch topics here. This one's called Boy Scouts Honor.
Oh shit!
Were any of you guys in the
shit.
what was it, the Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts? Were you a Weeblo, any of you?
But
No.
I was Weeblo at. Go ahead, TK. Go ahead. Back when I was like really young, like 8, I had a friend in school whose dad was like a scout den father, whatever, and I was in his class, so he was one as well.
My mom was a den mother. I was a Cub Scout.
Okay.
Okay,
I was neither.
I was a Cub Scout.
Loser.
I remember the Pinewood Derby. That was the best part. Pinewood
you can
Derby.
make the little car, and then you roll the car down. You make your car, right? That's
Yep.
what it is.
Yeah, little Pinewood Derby.
And then
it
you
was
roll.
fun.
Did you remember that, Raymo?
I wasn't in there long enough to do that shit. I maybe went for a little
Loser.
while. And
the car.
Couldn't
My
fit
car
in.
sucked, but yeah,
Yeah,
that was the best.
It's not that
You know what
I
that is, Raymo?
I ain't into organized fucking with motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to do my
Yeah,
own
I
shit.
ain't with that
What?
shit either.
The Pinewood Derby. Do you know what it is?
I do. I'm aware of it. Yeah, no, it's cool.
I
I
wish
have
they
nothing
had an
against
adult
it.
version of that. That would be so cool.
A what?
An adult version of that. You tell
They
me you
do.
would
They
do
have
that?
those.
Yeah,
where
they got the
make,
box
they make
cars.
Like,
Yeah, the box car
crazy-ass
races.
cars out
I
of
thought they didn't do that no more.
What?
cardboard, and
I'm
then
sure.
they go down.
Well, they don't do it in
Yeah.
Florida. We ain't got to get no
We got no
goddamn
hills.
hills.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Where you
Gotta
gonna
have
drive
hills.
it down?
God damn it.
Somebody's driveway?
Fuck.
Well,
I
this
missed that.
this documentary that's out, it's called Boy Scouts Honor, and the Boy Scouts are in big trouble. Them and the Catholic Church has also kind of been tarnished with some of the allegations and some of the things that are true about
Ouch.
the Catholic Church.
Dare you?
That
But
sucks.
this particular film hits home for me because Boy Scouts Honor happens to be about my 4th grade teacher, a guy that was involved in the Boy Scouts when I was a little cub
That's
scout myself.
crazy.
And his name was Mr. Sheehan. Bill.
Do you have him on the phone right now?
Every time you say his name.
Bill.
Such an asshole.
His name is Bill Sheehan.
That's great.
What's so funny about that? I don't understand what's so funny.
Because TK's an idiot. Notice I said
So this documentary, I recommend you go out and watch it. Because it shines a light on this douchebag, my 4th grade teacher, Bill Sheehan, who I really liked in the 4th grade. He was a nice guy. But those are the ones you have to watch out for because this guy was not only a 4th grade teacher, he was a den leader, like you guys say in the Boy Scouts.
That's
Yeah.
him? Is that him?
That's him right there. That is him.
Is that
We're showing
your
a-
picture?
We're showing a picture. No, this is from the documentary. That's Mr.
okay.
Sheehan. So I guess the story goes, we can't even have a real conversation on this show without you juvenile delinquents. We're here to tell a story about young Cub Scouts who are violated, and you think that it's a fucking fun and games.
Tomcat.
I am not laughing.
All right.
Back to the story.
I'm crying.
Boy Scouts honor. That's what they used to say when you were a little Cub Scout. You know, you'd hold up your 2 fingers. You'd be like, I'm telling the truth. Cub Scout honor.
2 fingers.
2 fingers.
Is that what the 2 fingers? They're getting you ready to use.
That was a Boy Scouts honor, was the 2 fingers. Come to find
God,
out they
was
were
your
putting the
honor.
2 fingers in the wrong places.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
According to this documentary, this guy, Bill Sheehan, he got his start in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
He's a masshole.
He started
Yeah.
up there, where this was in the late 70s, early 80s. He would take this one boy and take him.
Just stop.
Can I just tell the story without you laughing?
Well, I'm not trying. Who's laughing?
You.
Crying.
Stop.
I don't understand how pedophilia can be funny to you.
Yeah.
I didn't know
It's
this
not
was
funny.
about pedophilia.
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez.
Oh yeah. So
What about those 2 fingers, TK?
So the little boys would be taken out on the trail with Mr. Sheehan, and he would get them in the water, and he would like hold them underwater and then do the little dry humping under the water, to where one of these little boys finally told the camp leader, "Hey, Mr. Sheehan's taking me below the water and rubbing his down belows up against me."
Oh boy.
The kid told on him. All they did was ran the guy out of town.
What?
It's
They
called
said-
the hoochie coochie.
They said, "Get out of town, pack your bags. You got a problem. You need to get out of town. Nobody wants to see you." Well, then he resurfaces in where? Fort Myers, Florida.
Oh, I've heard of that place.
And he was my 4th grade teacher.
This is where it gets good, folks.
This is where it gets good, folks.
Now, I remember
You thought
Mr.
you were
Sheen.
laughing before.
Should we pause for commercial or something right now?
Yeah, this is where
No, we got a sponsor.
sponsor commercial.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
yeah.
This is
please.
brought to you by BetterHelp.
Ah,
called the
good.
If you need therapy, if someone maybe has violated you, or maybe
Good move.
you know you're going through a tough time,
Sure.
you can always go to betterhelp.com/outcast. Save, I think it's 50%.
No, let me get
Yeah,
this.
something
Let
like
me
that.
get this fucking straight, Gentry. National Geographic does a whole expose on this pedo, and he just happens to be your teacher from all the way back home here, and
That's crazy.
Fort Myers, yeah. And the
Wow.
the documentary is surrounding this guy Bill Sheehan, who somehow, some way, violated multiple kids in the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts in Foxborough, and nothing was done to him legally. Never went to jail. Just got told get out of town. So he packs up him and his wife. He had a wife, and I remember he had a son too, who's a little older than me.
Was he a Patriots fan?
Probably.
Had to
Oh,
be.
George.
You know, he's definitely a Sox fan.
So he moved to Fort Myers, and this guy, he was at my church. He was a part of the church. He was also a part of the Cub Scouts, and he was a part of the church, the Cub Scouts, and a part of the community. And he
Yes.
was a nice guy, and my 4th grade teacher. But his move was, at least with me and Lee Watson. Lee, if you're out there, I hope he didn't violate you.
Oh shit! You just sold Lee
damn.
out.
Yeah, really?
No, Lee was
Sorry,
my buddy.
Lee.
Lee was my buddy.
Oh, shit. He like, what the fuck?
You know how the teacher would put like your desk close by the teacher? I don't know if you ever had a teacher and they would be like, "Oh, you're the teacher's pet."
Oh, yeah. You said
me
like
and
right
Lee,
there, yeah.
me and Lee, for whatever reason, Mr. Sheehan wanted our desk close to his. Now, when you're a 4th grader, when you're 4th grade, you think, "Wow, well, this teacher, he thinks that I'm a nice kid. He really wants me close to him. He's a nice guy." That's what I'm thinking.
That sucks.
Then he would look at your paperwork while you were, you'd be grading your paper, and he'd pull you up next to him, and he would put his hand under your shirt and like give you the soft rub on your back.
Oh, that's
Now-
a creep, man.
I didn't really think about that at the time. At the time in the 4th grade, you're thinking, "Wow, this teacher really likes me.
Why weren't you on this documentary?
He's a nice guy." It never went any further than that.
Still.
A simple
They
background.
never went any further than that.
Yeah, what do you tell you? Was it a shiatsu massage?
We're not saying it went any further.
Yeah.
What about with your buddy?
I don't know what happened to Lee.
I'm just
Stop.
trying to get to the.
I've cried
just
enough.
trying to get to the truth. We're journalists, Ramo.
Yeah, okay.
But as you watch the documentary, there's a guy who's about my age now, and he's talking about the Cub Scout camp here in Fort Myers. and how he would violate him there.
That's crazy.
Shit.
And the whole thing is about the scouts, really, about how people that a lot of the people at the top were turning their heads to this pedophilia that was running rampant in the Boy Scouts. And it was running rampant in other places, and it seemed like we just turned a blind eye to it so many times, and just it hit home, obviously, when you're watching a documentary and you see your 4th grade teacher.
Sure.
And you think, wow.
Have to say that when I was in when I was in the Scouts, we did go on all of these trips where you would go on camping trips.
Sure.
And they would always be
They were prevalent.
just the dudes and the Scoutmasters, just the kids and the Scoutmasters.
Right.
So that would be a perfect. I'm not saying that that's what they did, but obviously some of them did it. But that's a perfect opportunity if you were going to do it.
It would be.
Hey,
sure.
let's go camping, kids.
That's messed
leave
up.
your
Man.
parents at home.
That's terrible. That's sick.
That is.
dude.
That
That's
is.
sick.
This guy had a sick fucking move. You know what his move was? He, at the camp, he'd find the vulnerable kid, obviously, and groom them, get them ready, get them out to the campsite, and he would put on a mask, the kid said.
Uh-oh.
Like a pig mask.
That's not good.
And he would come around the corner and, like, scare the kids
That's
at the
terrifying.
camp. Then he would take the mask off and he would go up to the vulnerable kid. Now the kid's telling the story, and he says, what Mr. Sheehan would do would say, hey, did you see the monster? Oh, yeah, I seen that monster. It scared me. He goes, oh, well, if you don't want the monster to scare you tonight while you're sleeping, you should sleep in my tent. And that's what he would tell him. And the kid was, fourth grader. I don't want to get scared by the monster in the woods out here camping. And would go in the tent, and then that's when Mr. Sheehan would do his violation.
That's when he'd
Well,
get
that's when
attacked
the real
by
monster came out.
The real pig.
Wow.
So
What a dick.
it was a bad scene to watch that, and then to think back then that this guy used to be my 4th grade teacher trying to give me freaking back rubs.
Well,
while
the
he's-
back rubs feel good.
I do remember
Yeah.
this. Remember the scratch and sniff sticker?
Yeah.
He always had the best scratch and sniff.
Sniff this kid.
Why were you not on this documentary?
These comments alone would be great.
Yeah.
All right, well, go watch Boy Scouts Honor. Actually, it might make you sick, but if you're from the Southwest Florida area or the Foxborough area,
Where's
You
it,
might have
what's it
got-
on?
it's streaming. I believe it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, I
just
got Prime.
speak into your remote and say you want to watch Boy Scouts Honor.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
And if you're a little kid and somebody's fucking rubbing your back and
Let
touching,
somebody know.
tell
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
Tell on them. Not
Yeah,
the little
definitely.
kids should be watching this show as they shouldn't.
Well,
So-
yeah. Not with this dick
Kids should
on.
not be watching.
No.
This, no.
And it says here that
But if you do,
Sheehan was banned from scouting after this, but he also had his Florida teaching certificate revoked, but he was never prosecuted due to what authorities said that he had advanced dementia, and that he died in a nursing home here in Southwest Florida
No
in
way.
2017.
He's pulling the Joe
Wow.
Biden excuse. That's a Joe Biden defense.
yeah, but Joe Biden is 98, so he shouldn't remember shit.
I'm Grandpa Joe. I didn't know, man.
Let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah, where
let's
you
talk
get
about
pulled
Kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
It's true.
let's talk about Jamie Foxx.
Fox.
The Fox, he has he's resurfaced. We at one point didn't know if Jamie Foxx was going to live or die. He was on his deathbed. Friends that were close to him were tweeting out saying things like, "We hope you pull through. We're here for you, Jamie." And after months of not hearing from him, he came out and he had some things to say. Let's go to the footage.
Okay.
Or wanting to hear updates, but to be honest with you, I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was gonna make it through. I went to hell and back, and my road to recovery had some potholes as well. But I'm coming back, and I'm able to work. So I want to thank the people that let me work, and I just want to say that I love everybody, and I love all of the love that I got.
There's the clip from Jamie
right.
Foxx. He just came out and said that maybe 3-4 days ago.
Are we
And
making predictions on what happened to him?
So I'm reading.
I don't know.
I'm reading an article right now about Ice-T saying kind of clapping back if people are saying that he was cloned and that's not really him because he looks thinner there. And they have a side-by-side here of
Is
him
it
versus
because
what he looked like.
there's a new movie out right
And
now?
Ice-T says people would rather believe that Jamie is now a clone or AI than the man was just seriously sick and damn near died because he doesn't look exactly the same. You look different after a bad cold, shaking my head weirdos. That's Ice-T saying that.
Gentry, what do
Big
you
homie
think?
spoke.
What do I think? I don't know. I mean, there's some conspiracies around there, and I wouldn't read too far into the conspiracies, but it seems like there was, like, the fact that they don't talk about what happened to him, the fact that they were trying to keep him in hiding for months and not, we didn't see him until just now.
True.
Now, I know something like that happens. You want to stay private. You don't want a whole bunch of people, in a hospital
Right.
when you're trying to just live and
Deal
survive.
with something.
There are a lot of rumors that are swirling around on what may have happened to Jamie Foxx. I don't know how many of these that you've heard, but what is your prediction, Ramo? What do you think happened to Jamie?
Just by looking at him talking, you can see that he is trying to show, it appears, more of the right side of his face than his left side. And at a lot of points in the video, his left side looked like it was almost, maybe even a little swollen, but definitely motionless to a point. Like, I'm thinking maybe he had like a massive stroke or something.
He did.
Something like that. And
He did.
and
He did.
it's
you know that,
serious.
Memphis? He
Yeah,
had a
they-
stroke?
yeah, they say he had a
That's
stroke.
what they
Oh,
said?
is it?
Yeah, he had a
Okay.
stroke, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
bingo. Yeah, I mean, I worked in the medical field for like 11 years, so I've seen a lot of stroke patients and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
And that can happen out of the blue. I don't know a lot about strokes, but
Blood
I do
clots.
know they just come out of the blue.
blood clots.
Oh,
Blood
boy.
clots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the rumors that are swirling around, I was listening to the internet,
High blood pressure.
and
With
let's-
your Oculus, were you like in there flying around?
My son got one of those. He loves it.
I have a clip here. This is from the internet, and this is a reporter talking about what she thinks may have happened. Let's take a listen. Here.
Talk about what has happened in the past and what's currently happening. And it's certainly not looking good for Diddy. As one person
Diddy.
wrote on Twitter, it's no coincidence that I've been seeing Jamie Foxx videos calling out Diddy trendingly. Wasn't his ex writing a tell-all book before she died? Another person said, Jamie Foxx in the hospital weeks after exposing P. Diddy and his gay parties. Something smells fish. But
Whoa!
Oh.
Gay parties. What does she mean by that? Does she mean like they sucked? Or
Well, there's definitely some sucking going on somewhere in the back. Yeah.
I guess the story
Where you
goes
got a
like
flag
this.
for that?
Jamie Foxx was on camera talking to some friends, and he was talking about how back in the day he would go to Diddy parties, and there'd be some freaky shit going on.
okay.
And Nick Cannon was hanging around, and he was
Hey.
like 14, and he'd try to come out and see what's going on, and Diddy would be like, "Oh no, get your ass back in there, Nick." And then people start talking about, well, Usher used to hang
Yeah,
around
Usher used to live there.
Diddy when
Live
he
with
was
him,
14, and Usher would talk about some of the crazy, freaky stuff that would go on there. So now conspiracy theorists are saying that maybe Diddy doesn't like that Jamie Foxx is out there talking about young boys being around when some freaky deaky shit is going on, and that maybe Diddy had a hand in Jamie Foxx getting sick, possibly. That's a conspiracy that's running around.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, did he
So you're-
responsible
Wow.
for somebody else getting sick, huh?
I don't know.
Or act accused?
So who said that? The lady on the podcast there?
The lady on this podcast, her headline actually is, I couldn't find the clip from Dave Chappelle, but the headline of this YouTube video is Dave Chappelle reveals how Diddy tried to kill Jamie Foxx.
That's crazy. Dave Chappelle said.
That's what the video says, but I couldn't find in the video where you hear actually Dave Chappelle saying it.
that.
I didn't listen to the whole thing, but
See-
I listened to clips. But people on the internet, they can say anything.
Got
I
to be
guess.
careful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they can.
people on the
That's
internet
the problem
play
with it.
all kinds of conspiracies. But I will say this: they didn't say a lot about what happened to Jamie when he went into the hospital, and he has millions of fans, and that's the reason why these crazy conspiracy theories come out on the internet,
sure.
right? If you don't want them to come out, I'm not saying he wanted people to know, and he said he didn't want people to see him like that. But if you don't want these conspiracy theories I'm just letting you know.
To go
You gotta
flying around.
You gotta tell people what's going on because it's the internet now, and like if in the absence of information, they'll just make shit up.
Unfortunately, I think you're right in the fact that he's a celebrity, so he's in the public eye in movies and things of that nature. So when things like this happen, people expect to know the story.
You should tell them because, like I said, they're gonna make something up if
They
you
will.
don't.
They will. Somebody will.
Mm-hmm.
People are dicks.
They are.
What do you think, Memphis?
No. We're cool.
What do you think, Memphis?
Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
There's a nice ball you got there. Just
You're never usually lost with no words to say, you know.
I mean, because there's so
What do you
much shit
think?
that's going on out here, man. This is like, you know what?
Sought out here for a pill.
I'm happy that he's
getting better. It looks.
He's okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's the most important. But the clone. The clone shit is like, oh, it's because he got that new movie. Who cloned
We didn't talk about the
Tyrone,
clone shit yet.
which is fucking phenomenal. You got to watch that goddamn movie.
I want to watch it.
like,
Is it in theaters now?
No, it's on Netflix.
Netflix?
Hell yeah,
Okay.
we watched it last
So
night.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
He has a movie out about being cloned, and then there's rumors that he was cloned, right? See, I think to Ice-T's point, that's probably more why people had put that rumor out there because he's got the movie, and then they kind of
Cloned. They think he's cloned now.
He's cloned.
Yeah, I won't trust my.
You know. I don't think he's cloned.
I don't think he's cloned.
I'd like to know where these people are getting their weed from because
I don't know, man. That's some strong shit.
Hope
I don't
it's
know.
shit I guess is kind of
cloned
regular
weed.
right now.
Be like,
They do be cloning
hell
weed.
That's what
yeah.
the fuck they're thinking about.
Hell yeah, you like?
Right?
I'm looking at myself right now.
All right, well, prayers up to Jamie
Yeah,
Foxx.
definitely.
I'm a huge
Bro.
fan of his. I actually got to
Congratulations.
hang out with him at an all-star baseball game one time.
That's
where
cool.
I was DJing, and then he like took over DJing for me.
Sweet. I don't know.
remember
Was he
that.
good?
That was awesome.
That was cool. Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
very, very nice guy, very humble and generous with his time with all the fans, and super talented.
He
the
sent
guy.
cool. He always sent I never met him, but like his personality whenever he spoke for awards and things of that nature. You seen him on different various talk shows. He sounded like he was a pretty cool dude.
Well, prayers up for Jamie Foxx, and we hope to
Unlike
see him
you.
back on a,
True, very
a
true.
movie soon or back on TV. Let's
That
move
is
on
true.
to our next topic.
Let's.
Okay.
This one is a juicy one.
Hey.
I don't know if he's not that type of juice.
That's terrible.
Vice President Kamala Harris has spoken out on Florida's new Black History curriculum. There's also, I guess, a DeSantis Nazi ad video out there. People really are trying to make DeSantis out to be a white supremacist and a Nazi. And, of course, he is the governor of the state of Florida.
Terrible.
So he is involved with this new Black History curriculum. But I don't know
terrible.
who wrote it, but I was told that there were some African Americans that helped write this curriculum.
African American scholars wrote the curriculum.
but
Ron
thi-
DeSantis didn't write it.
This is what the vice president said. I'll quote her. She says, they insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it. I guess there's lessons in this curriculum that talk about how slaves develop skills that could be used for their benefit, and that
Not
has
during
upset.
slavery.
That upsets
Yeah, that's
a
absurd.
lot of African Americans.
It's absurd.
What's absurd about it?
Wait,
It's not true.
What do
What's
you
not
mean?
true?
What do you mean? What's not?
It's
true?
not true.
Who am I talking to?
Go ahead.
Who am I
Me.
talking to?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll let him.
But he was
that's
the one
you.
making the point. though.
No,
'Cause it's true.
But how,
That's absurd.
What,
Go ahead.
what's not true?
No, I asked. That's what I said.
I mean,
What the fuck?
know- we know
This has
what
got to
I'm
go
saying.
in like a normal conversation here.
you know what the hell I'm saying? Like, what,
No, I don't. Like a normal
All right.
conversation. Like when I was talking to him, he said that black folks didn't develop any skills when they were enslaved.
and I'm asking what the fuck is this? Like, are you kidding me? So black people just develop skills while in slavery is what you're saying?
You're
What
saying
skills-
they
what-
didn't develop any skills? That they were unable to
fucking
develop
kidding me?
skills while they were in some of the most horrendous conditions ever, but were resilient enough to develop skills? You
So-
saying they didn't?
survival skills like how to live and not get
yeah.
lynched by these goddamn white folk.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a
You
lot like
forget,
that. It was a lot like
see,
that.
I know.
Yeah, I just said that the most horrendous conditions possible. But what you're saying is they were unable to learn any skills.
They didn't learn them there. Once they were freed, they were the ones who went to school afterwards and learned trades and became amazing Americans that we should all learn from. But it had nothing to do with somebody behind them telling them what the fuck to do. I can assure you that somebody didn't invent the vacuum because he was picking cotton or some shit like that. Like, no, those aren't the skills he needed to fucking be that person. Sorry.
Talking about generations later, though.
No, there's
no, man. There's no generations later.
You can't.
Can I talk for 1 second? Because you guys are getting hyperbolic.
Go ahead, dude.
Just calm down.
No, I learned this in school.
You're saying you learned what?
Black history, dude. I grew up in Gary, Indiana. Take a shot. Like, I freaking learned black history.
We're trying to be specific about it, though. We're trying to talk about it.
What? Make your point.
Yeah.
Make your point.
Well, I think my point is, like, a lot of people didn't even read back then. So people like Frederick Douglass learned to read through another person who was enslaved, who was cooking in the house that they were enslaved at. So he learned how to read through her. He took that knowledge of how to read and became one of the most prolific writers in American history. So that's all I'm saying. People did develop skills.
All right.
They were resilient enough, even though they were in those shit conditions, to develop skills.
Let me jump in real quick.
In that perspective,
I can say some on this whole panel that nobody can say. I knew who my great-great-grandma was.
Sure.
She lived up until she was 80-something. She's the daughter of sharecroppers that her grandparents were slaves who she knew. I knew this woman. I slept in her bed. She told me all the stories.
And I don't discount those stories that slavery is horrible. Exactly, right?
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
You don't understand, TK. Like,
I get it. You're trying to say I shouldn't be able to talk about it, but I do have an opinion about it.
It's really hard.
It's not a good thing.
You can talk about it. Nobody says not. But it's really hard to make an opinion about something that you really don't know.
Well, you're asking us to teach history in schools. You're asking us to teach African American history. Then you're now asking me not to learn it.
No, TK, don't.
Let's talk about it. You just said that.
No, DeSantis.
I can't understand
the right history.
No, DeSantis is trying to stop all black history to be not taught in schools.
That's not true.
I don't think that's true.
That
is gaslighting. You are gaslighting.
No, I am not
and
gaslighting.
Our vice president is gaslighting.
I never said she wasn't. Did I say she wasn't?
That's why she said the word, because she's projecting.
I ain't blowing smoke up her ass.
No,
but we talking about DeSantis right now.
It's true.
He's the one out here doing all this.
I didn't ask you to agree with what I said. I said
all fucked up shit
terrible.
when it comes to all different races and all this other shit and genders. DeSantis is doing that shit. Ain't nobody even been fucking with that guy. He's picking fights with everybody. He's showing who he is.
It's not really a fight, really, is it? It's just talking about the curriculum in schools. It shouldn't be a big fight, should it? In this day and age, when we just talked about how.
Wait a minute. So you mean if you're gonna teach history, because I'm a big history guy.
Okay.
And a lot of things that I learned about history, I had to learn on my own because they weren't taught in schools. But the fact of the matter is, if white people want people to know about American history, well, bitch, if you want to learn American history, black history is American history. There's no
we know that. Everyone knows that.
That's true.
The black experience and the slavery is a huge part of the American experience. It's how we've made our union more perfect.
But you don't acknowledge that? Crazy ass white people. Crazy ass white people.
That's racist. That's racist.
It ain't. You know what's racist? Getting hung up by a goddamn tree and your neck snapped by white people.
That is also racist. Yes.
Or they may burn you and they all take pictures in town pictures and they all pose. Which DeSantis, another thing he doesn't want to be shown.
All this shit you're saying is to shut me down from us having a conversation, and I am not afraid of it.
I'm giving you facts.
So just keep going.
Let me ask you, what did you learn history in school? Let me ask you that.
What are you talking about? What? I didn't pay attention in school.
So if you didn't pay attention in school, you can't give a
I pay attention now. I'm older. I care now.
No.
He said I care now.
No.
Where are you? Where are you now? We were talking about something specific. You are hyperbolic. You're out of control.
I am very good.
You learned a new word. I like it.
You just don't want to hear the fact. It's like a Republican.
What are we talking about? Talk about something specific.
I'm talking specifically.
We're gonna have to move on to the next subject before you stop filibustering.
Filibustering, you can call whatever fuck.
Talk about a specific issue.
You don't know history.
What
you don't know nothing about American history.
New shirt, new language.
All right, let's
fucking nice
talk
glasses.
about the facts, because I
Holy
do
shit.
have a few facts here.
Go ahead.
This is what I think is sad, that there's 216 pages in this curriculum, and there's a lot of information about Black history,
All written by Black scholars.
That is written by Black scholars.
Like what?
I'm not.
Not written by me.
Talking about how they built the infrastructure for this country.
Not written by me. Or
No, I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome.
And there's 216 pages, but it seems like, and I know we're part of the media, so we're probably part of the problem. But what everybody wants to talk about is that one line in the 216 pages where it says slaves develop skills in which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. That's the line. Right out of the 216-page document. And this is what we're talking about.
But don't put the fucking line in there. We'll be
Take it out.
good.
Yeah.
That's easy. Don't do dumb
it-
shit.
it-
Then fine, take the line
They
out.
didn't- yeah, they didn't. And here's the thing. A lot of them learned it in spite of their freaking life. They would die over learning that shit. And why don't we celebrate the white people
But
who
you're saying
helped,
they learned it.
who
But
helped.
you just said they learned it.
If they did,
You just said they did.
You know,
They had to.
Did you know Black people used to get killed if they learned how to read? If the master
Yeah.
or somebody knew that they
They
slave
weren't
knew
allowed
how to
to.
read,
That's
that
true.
slave got
That's
killed.
true. And they still learned. Because
you
they
know-
weren't
you know-
scared.
You know who
and they
learned-
still did it.
You know how they learned? Because the most
I'm
of the-
sticking up for them.
No,
Awesome.
fuck, you can't stick. No, fuck that. TK. You can knock that shit the fuck off right now. You can't fuck that because you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Excuse my language.
It's
Most of these slaves,
Make a
the
point
I
and stop
understand.
attacking me.
No,
because
no,
great
I'm
minds
gonna-
talk
I'm
about
gonna attack
ideas
you.
and small minds
No,
talk
I'm
about people. And y'all just
No.
keep attacking me.
I'm
not
but I ain't
attacking.
fucking scared.
I didn't
nobody
attack
said
you at
was
all.
scared.
You
I
are.
never attacked
Oh,
you.
you are.
I
No,
never
the
attacked you,
thing
not
is-
You're
one
saying
time.
I
No,
can't talk about
the
it
thing
over
about
and
it is-
over again.
never
Over and
attacked
over
What you
again.
talking about?
I would
love
never
to hear
attack
what you're
you.
saying, but you don't know what the hell you talking
I
about.
understand you, bro. I understand
know
where
what
you're
the hell
coming
you
from.
talking about.
But I'm saying,
I
like,
don't.
it's not the correct history. Just not that part right there puts a light on it that wasn't there.
What is not
It wasn't
correct?
there.
What is not correct?
It was. They didn't. It makes it sound like they learned it because they were allowed to learn it, and
They
were
Nobody
not.
said
They
that.
weren't. It
I
didn't-
did not say that. I said
I
they were
didn't
not
say-
allowed to learn it, and they still learned it.
Gentry, hold
All
on,
they're saying-
time, mediation. Gentry, did I say he said that? I said they made it sound. I'm saying
I don't think they
the
did. They
comment
just
in the
said
book.
they
Okay,
learned
but see,
the
that's what I'm
skills.
saying.
That's all they said.
I understand where you're coming from and saying what you're saying, but what I'm saying is I don't take it that way, so I think it means something different, and he thinks it means something different as well. Like other people take it's interpreted differently by people who know differently. So I think it's just something that shouldn't be said because they're right. There are tons of great people and probably tons of facts about what they did. I learned them all, but like that's what it should be about. That.
And let me say something.
Not anything else.
Let me say something, and then we can move on, right? Why it means such more to me? Because, one, I know my ancestors. I actually got a chance to touch them, hug them.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? I know their history. I'm just that close.
But I'm being asked to know it. Our
listen.
kids are being asked
No.
to know
They
it.
should-
So
they
it should
should
just
know
be
it.
on a level playing field.
No, they
it's not
should
more
know
important
it.
that you know it than
Why-
me.
so why
it's
do we-
our
so
history.
why do we
You
know
said
about-
that Black
why do we
history
know
is American
everything?
history. You just said Black history is
and you
American
just said-
history.
you
That
said-
means it's my history.
and he
You're
said-
trying to
I
talk
love
over
it.
me,
You
but
trying
I'm
to say
making a good
that I
point,
wanted
and I
to
made
say-
it.
No,
I
you
made
didn't
my
make
love
point.
it.
You didn't
I
make
I
love
no
made
it.
my
damn
point.
I love
You
it.
said Black
goddamn
history is American history,
It
which
is
means
American
it's
history.
all of our history.
It
And
is.
you should know it. You should know it, but you went
Then
to
I should be able
sorry,
to talk about it.
But you don't know shit to talk about
That's
it.
enough. That's enough.
Fine.
That's enough.
Good
Fine.
job. All right, that's
If
cool.
you don't, you
Great
can't talk
combo.
about something that you don't
It's
know
a great
anything about.
conversation.
You just said I'm supposed to learn it.
Please
Get
do.
to learning,
That's
get to
awesome.
learning.
Yeah,
do
that's
your
awesome.
research.
All right, let's
Do
move
your
on.
research.
Sure.
It's now
Everybody.
time for Tomcats News.
What? Already?
We do have a trusted
What
newsman
a
here.
dick! He
I hope
puts
there's
you on the
nothing in here
spot.
about slavery or nobody's going to believe it.
This
Now,
news.
you might want to take that
You're
story
funny,
out.
dude. I love that. I feel you, man. I get it.
This news report is being brought to you by HelloFresh. Use our promo code Outcast50 and save 50% when you go to hellofresh.com/Outcast50. Tomcat, take it away with give us
Love
the
it.
freshest news you got.
Can't wait to
Let me
cook
try.
mine.
Oh man, that's good.
It's gonna be
believe any of
sweet.
this. It's July 26, 2023, if you believe that.
Nice shirt, by the way.
It's
nice
rock
shirt.
legend Mick Jagger's birthday. He turns 80 years old. Actress Helen Mirren, she turns 77. Actress
so hot.
Sandra Bullock, she's 59. Comedian Jeremy Piven, I don't remember who that is, 58.
I do. Entourage.
Yeah, it's from
Entourage, yeah.
He was the agent. He was Ari Gold.
Okay.
Okay, I do remember
He's
that.
fucking awesome.
Actor Jason Statham, I definitely know who that is. 56 though, man, that guy's spry for 56.
He is. He's doing some good
And
shit
of course,
right now.
actress Kate Beckinsale turns
Oh, yeah.
50.
Nice.
Right
It
up
is-
my alley.
It's National Aunt and Uncle Day.
Hey,
Good.
I'm the Funko.
Always weird for me because people call me Uncle Tom.
I'm a
Thanks,
Funko.
kids.
Man.
No, you're not actually. You're.
I am a Funko.
It's National Holistic
I'm an
Therapy
uncle.
Day.
Yeah.
International Day for the Conservation of Mangrove Ecosystem, which is important to us here in Florida.
I love it.
National Bagel Fest Day, so I have a bagel day. And
no,
National
that's
Disability
Jewish.
Independence Day. So get up out of that wheelchair and run around. No, it's
Opa!
terrible.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's
That's
terrible.
great. That's great.
Tony Bennett died this week, which
Yeah,
is terrible to hear.
sucks.
Yeah.
Also, who's the bald chick? Sinead O'Connor just
Yeah.
died today.
Oh, that's so
56
sad.
I'm
years
so
old.
bummed about that, by the
Oh,
way.
Nothing
Obama's
compares to
cook
her.
drowned yesterday.
Yeah.
He
Uh-oh.
was paddleboarding out there in Martha's Vineyard.
Gentry, what'd you say? He knows too much?
Yeah, he probably knew too much. He
I
had
love
the
it.
secret sauce.
That's funny.
Yeah, some seals take him out.
Put that online. That's great. Twitter. They don't care
LeBron
about-
James' son Bronny, he had went
yeah.
into cardiac arrest.
Who?
But he's doing
Bronny,
okay.
yeah.
LeBron James' son Bronny.
no.
Yeah, that was like last night.
That's
They say
Yeah.
5%
Prayers.
of people go survive that, so he's lucky
Yeah,
to
prayers.
survive.
Prayers, man.
All right,
Prayers to
this is where
the
I got a
family.
video. Authorities in Florida released a brutal attack video inside an AMC movie theater.
I love it.
Allegedly stems from an issue over seats. I told you guys I went to the theater.
Was it Fort
and
Myers?
Somebody was sitting in my seat.
Fort
This
Myers.
is not.
Oh.
This is in Florida, though.
They were going
It's
to see-
Pompano Beach. And
Oh.
this guy and his lady were in the theater, and I guess this guy said, "You're in my seat," and then that guy just kicks his ass. Here we go. Bip. He
beating
gets
his ass right at the movie
He gets
theater.
his ass whooped. He says, I'm walking away to me. He says, "Go run to your wife, little boy." And as I turn around, he said, "Excuse me." I said, "You're the one who's being a little boy." And then that's what happened after that.
So the dude in front
They did
got
not
beat up.
find him. He's still on the lam, as they say.
You've gotten into it at the theater, right,
Yeah, that's what I
Tomcat?
said. We go into the theater now. My lady's like, if somebody's in our seats, you got to tell them to get out of our seats. This is the second time we've been to a movie.
you
Somebody
gotta-
was in our seats both
Don't you
times.
hate that
And I had
shit?
to stand there. Now I'm watching this video and I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, patriarch bullshit that
No,
they always
fuck
throw
that.
in our face.
Hey.
You're supposed to women's rights. Yeah,
They was
really?
going to see that goofy ass
Barbie movie,
That's
probably.
what
They were,
it
and the
was.
guy was mad.
Fuck
He had to
that.
watch
My
it.
girl mad because she can't see this pink bitch.
All right,
I'm glad my
we
wife
got
hates crowds.
One dead and 48
Yeah.
injuries after a suspected gas explosion in southern Africa.
Oh, I thought
This
you were going to
happened
say
in-
my bathroom.
This happened in Johannesburg, and one man died. At least 40 people were injured. Look at this. Boom. The street blew up. If you watch that, they'll play a little replay.
shit.
People were just out in the street. Look at this guy. Boom. The one guy right here on the dark colored van, he's leaning up against the van. If you see it, they play it again. Watch him look, and he just gets pushed forward. Boop. Right
They don't
into
know
the
what
building.
the explosion was?
Gas explosion, they're saying, they think, underneath the street.
He's lucky that bus was there. It took probably the brunt of it.
We're
Yeah.
all searching for the source, said Panya Lusufi, the
They don't
premier
know?
of Gothenburg province.
Oh, it was
They don't know.
a meth den.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could
it
be.
was.
All right, San Francisco. This next story comes out of San Francisco. Police are looking for the people involved in a dramatic crash that sent a car sailing over Sanchez Street steps on Saturday night. Car plowed through the guardrail and landed on its roof. The people in the car took off before police arrived. They're kind of thinking this is a stolen car.
Yeah, of course.
Where'd you see
no.
it? It comes flying out. They got lucky it got caught by that tree, because that tree right there wasn't there. It would have come flying out even further.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
And they said there were people like all around there. Oh man, that dude's trying to get him out of
I
there.
see a
Yeah,
nice
see-
patron running
yeah,
over there
two
to try to
people.
help
Yeah,
them
and then
out.
the second they get out, they run away, I'm sure. Oh, here they come. They're out of
Bunch
there.
of
Bye.
people are
See ya.
running.
Come on, they said we gotta go. The cops are coming.
You know them, don't you,
That's so
Rainbow?
one
I
got
do.
out.
My cousin, he
He's
told
got
me
his
the whole
hoodie
story.
up. Hoodie's
Yeah,
up.
see, wait, what is he tossing out of there? What is he doing?
Oh,
That's
the
the
attacker.
cocaine. That's the
Oh,
coke.
that's the cocaine, huh?
Yeah, they're
Huh?
taking that with them.
You better
They
grab
left
it.
the
You might-
cannoli.
Yeah, you get in trouble.
No, wait a minute. They
I think you
took the
better
coke,
take that with
took
you.
the cannoli, left the
Yeah,
gun.
so is it more?
You got
in
anything
there?
else,
Are they
Tom?
Yeah,
Mexican?
San Francisco. No, that was my last funny story of the day.
How
Oh,
many of them in that goddamn truck?
Come on.
There they go.
It's not done yet.
They running.
They're on the move.
There they go.
Thanks to our sponsors. We got to thank our sponsors, Liquid IV. Go
Yes.
to liquidiv.com.
About to give me some
Put our
right now.
promo code in, Outcast, and stay hydrated this summer. Also, HelloFresh.com /Outcast50 will save you 50%. And, of course, Bird Dogs. Get your Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com
Love those pants.
'Outcast
Those are
and get the
nice.
built-in underwear, baby.
Oh,
There's
they're-
me
they're
riding
great.
on the Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens
I
with
love
my
it.
bird dogs on right
Oh,
there.
yeah, you got your Bird Dogs on. What ride is that?
That's the Iron Gwazi.
Did your bird pop out? Did your bird pop out?
My bird was tucked tight. I was
Nice.
good.
It looks like you got a little wiener on that.
Oh,
Look at that.
now that's the little
wiener.
piece that comes between your legs there, and also my little wiener's right behind
Yeah.
Oh
it.
man, that's a little guy. on
Yeah,
that
it's
thing.
tiny.
Did a boner?
It is. But it did.
It's a huge vagina.
I see why your girlfriend's frustrated. It's
What
been
are you gonna do?
been a roller coaster of a ride, but what a hell of a ride it was here on the show today.
I love you, dog. You're
The
funny.
Outcast podcast. We are climbing the ranks of most feminine show in America.
That's awesome. Thanks,
It
Tomcat.
took us 75 episodes to get here.
Yeah, 75 episodes. Congratulations.
did
And
it.
we'll see you hopefully next week, God's willing.
Yeah.
Take care.
Peace out, y'all.
Let's hope so.
Later.
I love it.
Man, y'all gay as fuck.